Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 30 of This Old Knit. I am your host, Nina, otherwise known as Ine on Ravelry, Instagram, and Pinterest. You can find show notes for everything I'm going to talk about on our group page on Ravelry, so please come and join us because it's a lot of fun. Right now I have one cowl going on, the double dip cowl, and basically the only rules are that your finished object or your whip counts in another cowl, and if it does, then it counts in mine. So nice and easy, not a lot of rules here. I've got a very precarious situation going on right now, but Joshua fell asleep in the ergo, and my husband is outside cleaning the gutters with Megwin, so it's pretty quiet in the house. So I thought this would be probably the only time I'm going to be able to record today with natural light, because he'll probably be out there until it starts to get dark. So I probably won't have time to do it when they're ready to come back in. So anyway, I do have show notes for this week, and hopefully I have the camera pointed at a good angle. It's kind of on a plastic box and then on a little, like if you imagine a cake box that I got a bunch of Rologs in. So it's, I don't know if it's gonna stay. Hopefully I'll just try not to bump the table at all, and that should help. So I've had a really busy week this week, and glad to be through it, and hopefully it will start slowing down a little bit here with the holidays coming up at work. A lot of people start taking off on vacation, and this is actually the time I get a lot of my longer term projects that require a lot of kind of thinking and ideation done, because I have not every 5 minutes kind of someone dropping by my cube or somebody calling me or IMing me, so not as much distraction, which is kind of nice. One of the things I really like a lot is kind of, spending a lot of time inside my own head. That's how I come up with good ideas and how I kind of think through problems. So when I don't have that, I find that I start to, I don't know, I'm just not as creative. So hopefully I will get that soon, and that will be good. If you're pointing at Joshua's head, this is really weirding me out. I don't know what's going on. Okay. Yeah, so let's see. First, let me start with just saying thank you to everyone for all of your kind thoughts about Plonky, my dog, who we had to put to sleep a couple of weeks ago. We're slowly adjusting. Our only dog remaining, Cordova, is also slowly adjusting. I'm looking up a pattern name while I'm chatting with you. I apologize, that kind of distracted. But anyway, I appreciate everybody's thoughts and well wishes, and sharing your stories with me of losing a pet. It is never easy, no matter if they go from old age or if it's very sudden. And he was part of the family, so yeah, I appreciate everyone thinking about me, and all your PMs and posts in the thread. So oops. Nope. The reason I'm looking it up is I got a gifted pattern, and I wanted to thank the person, and I don't want to not know the name of the pattern. Alright, I'm cued. Okay, so whips this week, because I've been pretty busy. I haven't got to work on a lot of stuff. However, I haven't podcasted in 2 weeks, so I did get some things done. I finished an object. So let me start with that, actually. Let me dig my way to it, because obviously I was a little bit encumbered trying to get things together. And this is our giant queen size sleeping bag. I often use it when I'm sitting up here because this room, my room that I have all the yarn in, is the colder room in our house. So I think I've mentioned before that we have one register that comes up with the hot air, and that is in Megwin's room. We put her in the warmer room, and then the return back to downstairs is in the yellow room, which is kind of the craft room / playroom. So, and I also now use it as my office when I work from home. I used it before, but now I have a desk, so that is awesome because I can actually sit like a human rather than sitting on a tiny play stool or on this day bed and using the play table as my desk. It's way better, and my back has not been hurting as much when I've had to work from home. So that's nice. Okay, so finished object. I finished Josh's cowl, which I'm so excited about. He's worn it just around the house because we had a warm front come in, and it's been in the 70s. So we haven't even needed jackets. But today it's 47 outside, so it's definitely colder, and it's starting to become more fall-like again. So he'll be able to use it again soon. So here it is. And I redid the bind off. I kind of changed the idea of what I wanted to do because I did the folded hem on the top, and then I realized after the fact that I couldn't even get it over my head. It was so not stretchy that there was no way Josh was getting it over his head because I couldn't get it to even, it went to like here. So I ripped that back. And then I just did ribbing because I thought that'll still cinch it around his face like he wants. And I did Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off on the top, so it's nice and stretchy. But as you can see, it cinches right back in. This is the willow cowl. However, it's knit very differently than what the pattern calls for. There's no lace in it, and the pattern has lace rounds on it. It also has a folded hem, picot hem, and I did just a normal folded hem, and I think the pattern doesn't have you work it as like, what do you call it? I picked up stitches on the bottom, or no, hang on, I'm trying to remember what I did. Yeah, I picked up stitches along the cast on edge, and I bound off with the live stitches so that I could keep going, and that made for a nice bottom part, very finished. The yarn is No Maker's Scruffy Gnome, which is her tweed base on with the Gnomesome Dove colorway. Oh my god, I can't talk. So I love it. And he really likes it, and he said it's exactly as he imagined it. I'm sorry, I've been shop vacuuming a lot today, and I didn't use ear protection, and I totally should have. So my left ear feels kind of weird. Kind of ringing a little bit. It's not good. Not good. I wear ear protection when I go to all concerts and everything, like growing up in my 20s. I always wore earplugs when I went to concerts, which I think is why I can hear way better than my husband. You know, but yeah, sometimes I'm stupid about stuff like that. I need to be more careful. So that's my FO for this week. I do not have any other FOs, but that was a lot of knitting. So then another, not even a half object, but this is my next whip that I've been working on. So I did rip back the top of my mitten and redid it after I knit, I think 5 extra plain rounds, and now it's perfect. So I'm glad that I did it. It didn't take me that long to fix it. It's just, I just wasn't in the mood to rip back. You know, you get in those moods, right? So yeah, I definitely needed that extra wiggle room because now, like, my finger touches on the top, but yeah, I've got a lot more space, which is good. And I think once they are blocked, I'll have even more space. Because it's Patons Kroy. So it relaxes just a little bit. It doesn't relax a ton. But it is superwash, so it will relax a bit. This is the Patons Kroy FX sock yarn in the Clover Colors colorway. So I really like it. So I'm ready to cast on the second mitten. I usually knit both mittens and then I do the thumb last. I don't know. That's just how I do it. I prefer to wait and do my thumbs last. I don't know why. But yeah, I used the pattern mittens or striped mittens according to Badagak. So it is Lena's free pattern on Ravelry. She has it in Norwegian and then in English like a couple of pages in. So don't be afraid that it's not readable, because it totally is. And it's a really good pattern. It's very straightforward. It's a nice basic mitten recipe for sock weight yarn. You don't have to knit them with stripes. As you can see, I did not. I just used a self-patterning yarn. I'm knitting them on 2.75 millimeter needles. I used my Knit Pick circulars because my Addi sock rockets are occupied right now with other things. And yeah. So I anticipate having those done in the next couple weeks. Let's see. That's how much I had left of the first ball. But I'm going to start the second ball so that I can go to the same point, because I would like them to kind of match. And then I didn't do a lot on this, but this is my calligraphy cardigan by Hannah Fettig. Disa from Disa's Craftwork podcast and I are doing an informal knit along. I gifted her the pattern and then she gifted me the pattern because she's a silly goose. So I was like, okay, we've got to knit them together. So for that, am using RYC Cash Soft DK. And I had a little bit of a freak out moment for this one because I thought that I had 11 balls of the yarn, which is just enough. It's actually a little bit short, but I've read from many people that this cardigan is quite long, and I don't think I want it to be as long as what it is in the pattern, so I should be fine with yarn. I couldn't find my last ball, and I was looking everywhere, and I had marked that I used a tiny bit of it in something a while ago, and I was worried, did I use a whole ball and I didn't mark it right in Ravelry, but I found it, so everything is fine. So that is another whip that I'm working on. I really, really have to get this out of here. This ball is gonna have to get reskeined. This is a hot mess. Alright, I'm going to fix this now while we're chatting. This is my yarn that's supposed to be for Molly's windswept shawl, Molly of a Homespun House. I just haven't got to it yet. I will get to it. But, you know, life. It's been very, very busy. And unfortunately, I can't always make time for knitting, because I have to eat and support my family. So my work and the quality of my work comes first. And of course taking care of my family and spending time with my children also. So, you know. Okay, that looks better. Good. I'm going to put that inside a smaller bag. The problem is that I have just a bit knitted and I have not ripped it out yet. So I have that little bit that I knit that's way too loose. And I just haven't ripped it out yet, so it's kind of loose in the bottom of this bag. Okay, I'll put it in with my calligraphy cardigan and then it's all secure. Okay. And then, what else have I been knitting on? Oh, well, I guess I could show my blanket. I have definitely been knitting on my, whoops, there went my ball of yarn. On my 10 stitch blanket by Frankie Brown. Because I've been knitting some socks, which I'll show you in a minute, and I'm knitting them on size 1 needles, and they're actually, I don't know, they're kind of hurting my hands a little bit. I'm using Carbons, which I like the Carbons, but I don't know, something about them kind of makes my hands hurt. I don't know if it's the needles or if it's the size of the needles. It could be either one, I don't know yet. So what I've been doing is I've been resting my hands by knitting my blanket, because these are, you know, wooden bamboo needles. And they're small and the repeats are short. So that seems to help. I also, since I've been working a lot, when I work a lot of hours, I usually have pretty good posture, but I start to kind of, you know, lean in towards my screen, and so I get kind of some shoulder pain, and that kind of translates down to my left hand, and I knit quite a lot with my left hand. I'm a picker, not a thrower. So this has been my resting project. So I just did this side here on it. And here it is for those just joining me. So it's been nice to have it for Joshua, just like this. I do a lot of exactly this because it gets a little bit cooler. We let our house get cooler in the evenings. Even when it's time to heat it, we let the heat drop down to 62 at night. For sleeping, and then we just kind of cuddle up. So I've been putting it over my lap and kind of over Joshua so he stays warm, and then I just pick it up and I knit on it a little bit. So it's really nice for that. And I've got this much of this ball that I'm working on left, and then this is how much yarn I have left in total. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 balled up and 1 that's still in the hank. So 5 more skeins of yarn. So we'll just see how big it gets with 5 more skeins of yarn. I'll put my mitten in there with the yarn so I don't lose track of it. And then crap, where did I put that? Oh, it's in here. Completely unrelated to knitting, but I did a little bit of spinning today. I want to take a drop spindling class, so there's one that my yarn store is offering. I think it's potentially next weekend. It's a beginning drop spindling class, but I really think that I could learn some stuff from it. I'd like to learn different techniques for drafting, kind of learn when to use which spindle, because I feel like sometimes I make the wrong choice for matching spindle and fiber, and I'll just sit there and brute force my way through it and be really frustrated with the spin, and then change it over, and then it's fine on a different spindle. So I'd like to just kind of know up front, oh, if it's this type of spin or this type of fiber, pick this weight of spindle, blah blah blah. So I'm spinning it on my Snyder spindle. I think it's a Steampunk one. It's 1.1 ounces or 31 grams. And I'm pulling this apart because this is actually not spun right here. I had a little bit of fiber left that I had drafted out, but I didn't spin it. So there's about the weight that I'm spinning right now. This is a single, obviously. I really also want to learn how to ply on the fly, but I just don't feel very confident about my spinning skills yet. I've not been spinning for very long. I mean, I learned to spin about a year ago, but I very rarely take time to spin, just because, I don't know, because I want to knit a lot of the time. But I do enjoy it whenever I do it, so maybe I just need to try to remember to spin at least one day every weekend, and then I would make a little bit more progress. So here's what I've spun so far. This is a merino dyed by Gaia's Colors. She doesn't dye yarn anymore, or fiber. I won this actually in a contest, and I've showed it before, but here's the braid. I won't take it out of the bag just because it'll be very, very loud. My camera does not translate the happy crinkle sound very well. So it's dark forest greens, deep blues, some kind of coffee color, very mauve-y color, and some chartreuse. It's really neat. I forget what that colorway was called. But yeah, I'm enjoying spinning with it, and I think again, I had the wrong spindle weight before, so I was very frustrated, and I was like, ugh, I'm not good enough to spin merino. I'm not going to spin merino anymore. And then I bought this one. So I think I had like a 3-ounce spindle or something. Some of my other spindles are very heavy. And I used them mostly to spin like Lincoln Longwool. I've spun a Shetland. So very long staple wools. But as soon as I got a much lighter spindle, like that was what I needed. So I was off and running. So yeah, I would like to take that class. I'll see if there's still room. I didn't get a chance to call my local yarn store to register for it, but hopefully there's still room for me, and if there is, I will talk about it in the next in the episode after I go and share with you guys what I learned. So, what else? I feel like I have a lot of whips right now. I have just been giving myself permission to cast on whatever I want, because it's silly not to. If I want to knit something, I'm going to knit it. Right? Okay. So, I started a thread in the group about an informal Christmas socks cal. So I've wanted to have some socks for Christmas for a while. And so this year I thought, I'm going to do it. I'm going to knit myself some socks to wear at Christmas time and on Christmas Day. And I'm going to start them now, so that way they will be done in time and I don't have to worry about it. So I got the West Yorkshire Spinners Christmas colorways. They have 2 limited edition colorways, and I ordered them from the West Yorkshire Spinners website. Came very quickly. The service was good. And I think Sarah from Love Sock Wool also ordered from there. The one thing I will say for people ordering in the US, you don't get like a confirmation that it has shipped, but it's very fast. So fear not, it will just randomly show up and you'll be excited. So I got the solid color, which is Cherry Drop, and the patterned color, which I never remember what the color is. But here it is. And it's their signature 4-ply base. It's really nice. I have quite a lot of the Country Birds colors, and this makes me really excited to knit those up. So here's what I've got. I did longer rib than I usually do, so I usually only do 15 rows, and I did 20 because I wanted a nice deep ribbing and I wanted to have a lot of that nice pretty red on the top. And then I made my leg a little bit longer than I usually do as well. It looks shorter, which is so funny, but it is actually longer than my normal sock. But I think because of the contrasting color, which I don't ever do contrasting heels and toes, it's just throwing my eyes off. It's tricking them, which I think is hilarious. So I love the colors. It's this kind of salmony red, a very bright cherry red, this olive green, and then a forest green. And would you believe this is my first pair of self-patterning socks? I've done self-striping, but I've never done ones that have had this faux ferrule effect, and I really like it. So I'm just using my basic sock pattern that works for me. So 64 stitches. I'm doing it on a 2.5 millimeter needle. I'm using the Carbons. Molly sent me one, and I bought a second one from Simply Socks Yarn Company so that I could knit with 2 circulars. The one thing that I forgot to do, which all of you who have watched will remember my tribulations from my rainbow socks, my Vesper sock yarn socks. I did not cast on with a bigger needle, and I don't know why I didn't do it, because I had to cut my knitting with those and use a Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off, and I'm gonna have to do it again. I'm such a dork. So, note to self, 2.5 millimeter needle socks, they fit you really well, but the cast on is not your friend. Use bigger needles. Seriously, use bigger needles, Nina. Okay. Okay. This is really bad here. Yeah, you're gonna see my ironing board. Whatever. Okay. Note to self, do not say, okay, I'm done, to a camera. So my camera battery died, so I'm gonna finish up recording on my phone, just so that I don't lose my opportunity to record. So, yeah. Here it is. My camera. It's charging right now. I don't remember where I was. Oh yeah, socks. So anyway, I'm going to have to do the same thing. I'll have to cut the cast on and bind off, which is fine. It worked okay last time, and I'll be able to do it again. I apologize for the ironing board being in the shot. I didn't realize that it was. Maybe it's not with my regular camera, because it has a little bit tighter of a frame. I actually could... Maybe I could zoom. Nope. Can't zoom in or out of this in this mode. Sorry. So you can enjoy that. I've kind of permanently homed it up here because I'm doing my sewing up here now. So when I need to press things, I can just do it right away. And it's actually good for in the morning as well when I'm getting ready, because we're now all kind of getting ready in the morning, and it makes it a little bit easier if I'm up and out of the way. Otherwise, where I was doing it was in the bedroom door, and you have to walk through our bedroom to get to the only bathroom that's on the main floor. Our other bathroom is upstairs. So everybody's kind of walking in and out of that path, getting ready, getting showers, getting dressed, and it's a traffic jam all the time in our house. So, yeah, so those are my socks. Like I said, I have it written up on, there's a pair of socks that I did in the blue stripe rag colorway, Patton's Croix. So if you look on my project pages, you can find that, and I wrote up my normal sock recipe in the notes for that project. So I kind of have this now just balanced on my little gorilla thingy. So yeah, okay. And then I've got a pair of Bull and Vine socks in my Bull and Vine Yarns bag. This is the one that she got this fabric when she was in Cape Cod. So on the back it's kind of got sea creatures and a lighthouse. Has a little lighthouse stitch marker, which I really like. Yeah. What am I doing? I didn't show you the project yet. So these are my vanilla latte socks. These are what have my 2.75 millimeter Addi sock rackets on them, so I need to finish them. But I fell in love with my Christmas socks, so I'm knitting those now. But these will get done, don't worry. I wear hand knit socks all the time, basically year round, but especially in the fall and winter, I wear them every single day. So I need some new ones to help fill out my pairs. I just washed a bunch of socks today with my Tuft Woolens in the lemonade or lemon blueberry smell, and it was so nice. So here's my finished one, which I've shown before. Love how it's striped on the heel. This is in her footsie base, which is very nice. I'm getting tons and tons of BFL. I'm kind of in love with it right now. I think I might even like it better than merino, just because it seems like it is a little bit harder wearing. So for socks at least, I think it's a good base. So here's the cake. And those that is really true to color. So I also think it seems like it takes dye a little bit more than merino. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't dye yarn. But dyers, you can tell me if that's true. So I might work on those a little bit today. I don't know what I'm going to work on. So that is all of my whips. Oh. And I have one that I need to work on. If you all recall from when I started this podcast, I was sharing a shawl I was making for my sister. So it is the Whispering Pine shawl. It's another of Molly's patterns from a homespun house. And I put it in hibernation. And the reason that I did is because I had skeins that didn't match up well. So I'm doing it in, is it Malabrigo Silky Merino or Manos de Uruguay Silky Merino? I don't remember. I think it's Malabrigo Silky Merino in the Marron Oscuro colorway. And it's this really pretty kind of mauvey brown. It's a really deep, rich color. It's very, very pretty. However, when I changed skeins, my second skein was noticeably lighter than my first skein. Yeah, you can definitely see it there. So I didn't know what to do. If I wanted to rip back, if I want to rip the whole thing and alternate skeins. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to knit it. I'm just going to finish it, and then I will ask my sister what she would like me to do. Would she like me to dye it just kind of a chocolatey brown, or over dye it like black, or what she wants me to do. So that's what I'm going to do, because it was supposed to be her Christmas gift for last year, and clearly I have not delivered on that. And I want to finish it. But now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, ugh, I should just rip it back and redo it. But this is a lot of knitting time. I don't know. I'm still conflicted. I'm probably going to be unhappy with it while I'm knitting it, looking at that stupid stripe and thinking, well, what if it doesn't over dye well? I've never dyed anything, so I might just screw it up. I don't know. If anyone can give me advice on how one over dyes something in a good way, I would appreciate it. This project bag is one that I got in, I don't know if it was last year or the year before. Swap, the Itty Bitty Knits swap from Jessica Jane BG1923, which I've mentioned her quite a lot, but yeah, she's one of my good friends from Ravelry. So that's everything for reels, for true. Some things that I am thinking about doing are, I got a pattern from Coddington, who's Autumn, called Bloomsbury Kids. It's really pretty pullover for little girls, and it has lace detail down the arms, and I'm trying to remember if there's lace in the back or not. I can't check now because I have my phone recording. I can't look at it for other things, but it calls for a worsted weight yarn, I think, and I am going to use this yarn, which is Classic Elite Princess. It's a discontinued yarn now. It's really pretty though, and this is a lavender color. I got this in the infamous Stash Dive, where I also got the yarn for the blanket. I think I got 4 or 5 balls of it, so I definitely have enough to make a sweater for Megwin, but probably not enough to make really anything for me. So it's 40% merino, 28% viscose, 10% cashmere, 15% nylon, and 7% angora. And part of the reason that I want to use this too is that when we had talked about when Plonky was going to be put to sleep, so we've talked about it for a while, that he was getting old, he was sick, he was on a lot of medications. I knew that he eventually, one of his degenerative conditions would make him uncomfortable enough that it would be time to make that decision. So we had talked about that when that happened, we would get a bunny. So I had rabbits when I was younger, and we raised Rex rabbits for 4-H. I had a buck and a doe, and they were named Blossom and Clover. They were white. And I actually won several awards when I showed them. I was the Clark County Rabbit Princess. So you're speaking to royalty right now. So I do know about how to take care of rabbits. But I've obviously been trying to learn more about Angora rabbits specifically. They do have some different needs, like grooming needs. I want to make sure I really understood what I need to do to collect their fiber and also to keep them healthy, because I guess that they can get a condition called wool block, where they can't cough up, like cats can cough up hairballs, right? So rabbits can't do that. So they'll lick their fur, and then it will build up in their digestive tract, and it actually can kill them. So it seems like there are several different things you can do. You should feed them like papaya enzymes. You can give them fresh pineapple as a treat, and that also helps. It's the same enzyme in both papaya and pineapple. It's papain, and it helps break down the wool in their digestive tract. You also give them lots of water, Timothy hay, and then they said like you really watch their droppings and modulate their pelleted food based on how they're doing, how dry their pellets are when they go to the bathroom. So that was good to know, and I don't think we'll even think about it until the springtime. I don't want to worry about a rabbit over the winter. But yeah, in the spring we'll probably start thinking a little bit more seriously about it. So if anybody has any good websites or other just general educational resources or books about raising Angora rabbits, or if any of you have Angora rabbits and would like to chat or would have any advice for me, I would very much welcome it. Yeah, I'm excited. And that's part of the reason too that I want to get better at drop spinning, and maybe I would need probably a blending board. Yeah, so that I can blend Angora with other things. So, long story short, I wanted to knit with something with Angora and have her wear it over the winter to make sure that she doesn't have any sensitivity to Angora. I actually have an Angora sweater as well that I've knit out of an Angora wool blend. I think it was 50-50, so it's super soft. And she doesn't seem to have any issues with that, but yeah, I want to make sure before we bring another animal into the house that she's not going to have any problems with it, and that Joshua won't have a problem with it either. So that's the plan. So yep, I'm going to use Classic Elite Yarns Princess to make the Bloomsbury Kids pullover for Megwin. Probably not the next thing on my needles because I need to do Joshua's sweater first. And then swap. So, oh wait. Yeah, for sewing a bag. So I got this really cool fat quarter. It's like ornaments. So I definitely want to make a bag out of that. And I think this is what I'm going to use for my coordinating fabric because, oops, you actually can see it matches that little ball. Someone's waking up. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to maybe sew a couple bags a little bit later tonight. After everybody's back inside, maybe while Josh is making dinner. Because I need to make my swap bag for the Spoil Each Other swap. It's in the Disa's group again. And it was basically that she paired us with an international partner. And then we had a couple of required things. We needed to include a skein of yarn, a project bag, a set of stitch markers, and some kind of treat. So I brought up some chocolates for me to eat because I'm going to knit up here for a little while once I'm done sharing with you guys. So let me get out my acquisitions here because I'll share those next. So my swap partner was Inepina, and she said her real name is actually pronounced Ine in Norwegian, which I thought was so fun. So she wrote me a really lovely note. I love getting cards from people, and just kind of told me about all of the different things that she included in my package. So here's her pretty card. And then she sewed me the most gorgeous bag. So Ine, you're not going to get this quality of a bag. I'm sorry, but it will be made with love. My drawstring bags are okay. I'm just not a very good seamstress. So here's the one she made for me. It's huge and really, really beautiful. So it's quilted. It's white inside. So a fun zipper pull. She put some tea in there, which I have drunk some of already. But there's a black currant, right? Yeah, that one's really good. I had one of those at work. Some yogi tea choco. Some licorice and cinnamon, which I also had yesterday. A little candy bar. a Brazilian nut toffee. A licorice chocolog. But yeah. Some suckers that I'm not going to pull out because someone will see them. Some locally hand-dyed yarn from a Norwegian dyer called Oslo Micro Diary. So it's these pretty rainbow speckles. I think I might try to make a hitchhiker out of that. Okay, let me get him out of here. Oh, sweet boy. Oh, my. Yeah. Oh. Wow. Okay, buddy. Don't go running somewhere scary. As long as you hang out right here, that's okay. Oh, yeah. You want one of those? Okay. Whoops. Okay. There you go. Okay. Let me get my blanket put away here, buddy. Okay, you already have one in your hands, sweetie. No, eat this one. No, you don't need to. Just sit right there. Alright. And she sent me a bunch of really pretty minis. Okay. So those are fun. I need to work more on my blanket. She sent me 2 skeins of this really soft baby silk. It's got some sparkle in it. So it is baby alpaca, 75% baby alpaca, 20% silk, and 5% stellina in a really pretty gray. So I'm thinking that might be a hat. I think it would make a pretty hat. Or, yeah, I don't know yet, because that might be a little bit too drapey for a hat. I haven't looked at the yardage yet. 133 meters in each one. So I might be able to make a cowl out of that. And that is everything. Oh, nope. Nope. Stitch markers, which are super cute. So she said she got these in on a trip to Finland. And it's funny because I've looked at this company before because they use all recycled plastic to make their stuff. I've looked at getting sock blockers from them before. So I'm excited to try those before I invest in sock blockers from that company. But they seem very well made. So that's, whoop, he's on his way. That's everything, which I'm going to quickly put back in my bag before he gets into it. And then last thing that I had this week is I got my No Makers Christmas yarn. Oops. Hi, buddy. You dropped my drop spindle. Sweetie pie. So I pre-ordered some yarn from No Makers for their holiday colors. So this is a new colorway that she made for this year called Peppermint Mocha. And this is also a new to me base. It is Bungalow Gnome, which is 75% superwash BFL and 25% nylon. Do you sense a theme? BFL. But I wanted to try her BFL and see what I thought. So, this is so pretty. Amanda, you really outdid yourself with this colorway this year. I like it so much. It's beautiful. And it's going to make some really cool socks. And I couldn't resist, so I got the minis, the Christmas minis bundle, which I have not opened yet. But it has all the colors. So what I might do, I think, is I'm going to knit these into Hexie Puffs before her big stocking. So once a year, not Black Friday, she does, I'm sorry, Joshua just hit the table. She does what she calls Gnome Stock. And it is like her biggest shop update of the year. And so she will have all of her Christmas colorways in that stocking. So if I knit them up and I decide that I want any other colors, I will order them then. I don't know though, because I just also got my last shipment of the Mini Skein Club, and I'll want to sign up for next year's Mini Skein Club. I also got her calendar. She made a calendar for this year, for 2016, of Yarny goodness, so I'm excited about that. So I usually get the Knit Picks calendar, and that's what I have at work for my calendar, but it'll be fun to have a No Makers one. I really like Christmas Pickle, though, which is this one. So I'm thinking I might get a skein of that. I don't know. Oh, little hands. Tiny hands. Tiny Bubba's hands. Don't touch it, Bubby. No, thank you. You'll knock it off. And that is everything that I bought for this week. So I mentioned the Informal Christmas Socks Cal. I'm also participating in the Make Two Along from the Tiny Paper Foxes podcast. I'm going to make a pair of mittens in the Deck the Halls colorway from Volenvine, and a Molly hat from in Fiber Space Scrumptious DK. He's nodding at me over here. Yeah. And then the Local Love Cal from the Made with Carlenergy podcast, which I've really been enjoying. So I've almost caught up with all of her episodes. I have one more to watch. And she is sponsoring a cal that's all like using local to you yarn. So I'm going to use the alpaca that I bought from the Fiber Festival that is literally like 30 minutes away from me, is where the alpaca farm is. Oh, I checked in the Lost and Found for the mittens and I did not find them. I just wanted to take a moment to say that Lost and Found was so disgusting. It's in like a plastic tub, and it looks like they basically took all the coats and stuff that were left outside in the rain and just threw them all in this tub. So I was digging for my mittens, and like as I got further and further down, it got smellier and smellier and more disgusting, and I just stopped because I got about halfway in and I felt like I was going to throw up. It smelled so terrible. And I tried to just not touch anything because, you know, I had my bare hands. And, yeah, I actually got sick later that week. So, gross. Really, really gross. So I was like, I said to my husband, if they're in there, I don't want them. So I think I might have enough to make another pair with what's left in that yarn. Unfortunately, I've put it in a couple of mini skein swaps because I thought I was done. So I will see if I can reproduce those mittens. And we've been trying to clean the house for Thanksgiving. We're going to host a couple sets of friends plus ourselves for Thanksgiving, probably on Friday, not Thursday, so everybody can do Thanksgiving with their families on Thursday. I don't know yet what our family's plans are. I have to talk to my mom. But this year I want to make homemade cinnamon ice cream for dessert to go with pie. So, yep, been working on that. So I am going to go because he's running near the stairs, and I hope everybody has a great week and take some time to do the things that you love, and I will talk to you all later. Bye.